Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dad and Buried podcast. Our episode topic this week is kids' television shows. I think we can all agree 99% of them are garbage and make us sick.
But you know what? There's 1% that's sore.
My toddler loves Unikitty. You know what? I kind of love Unikitty.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
The one that like they fold into a cube. The one that folds into... Yeah,
is that what happens? Folds into a cube?
You don't even know.
It's a Lego piece. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Unikitty is like a Lego thing with a cat's face on it, and she has a brother who's a dog, which
they're
that's
like
weird. How
cubes.
is it like she's a princess and her brother's a dog. She's a cat and her brother's a dog? Does
Mike,
not compute.
You're thinking too hard.
What has God wrought?
You're thinking too hard.
Am I thinking too hard?
Yeah.
That's the first time anyone's ever said that about me. So if you've never been here before, my name is Mike,
Welcome.
a.k.a. Dad and Buried. Welcome to the Dad and Buried show. It's a podcast based off of my social media and, frankly, anti-parenting content empire.
Right.
Twitter, Facebook, dadandburied.com, Instagram, over 100K verified.
Okay, nobody needs
By
to
Menon.
Nope.
Can I do that? Is that copywritten?
No, yes, definitely. This is the... if you're into parenting, you should just...
Go to a different
let's get
podcast.
this
Maybe
is
like
that's
Dr. Phil.
somewhere
is it?
else.
Dr.
Yeah.
Spock.
If you want to scream into a pillow, this is
Yeah, if you're in the middle of putting your kids to bed and you need to scream into a pillow to keep from screaming in their faces, this is the podcast for you. So again, my name is Mike. My co-host here is Pete.
I'm Pete, and I am a professional finisher of all my family's food at restaurants.
You get paid for this. You get paid for this.
Well, I get paid for it, and so we were just out the other day, and my wife literally just hands me a hamburger with like
finish this
finger holes. No,
finger holes?
Yeah. Someone had one of my kids.
Someone had
had put their fingers in the various
holes.
Hamburger.
It's
and then
a family podcast.
And then the best part was without even looking, she was engaged in conversation without even looking. Just hands it here. Here you go, Mungo.
But did she want you to throw it out or to?
No, finish it. Yeah. Finish it,
and
Mungo.
you fucking did.
There you go. Guess what?
Because that's what dads do.
Guess what? That's why I don't order a lot at a restaurant. And guess what? I also like the name Mungo.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like to order a lot at restaurants either because I prefer scraps. That's my. I'm what they call a foodie. I prefer the scraps of my children's meals.
I'm like a cockroach that way.
Every day for lunch, what I eat for lunch at work are the crusts that I cut off my kids' sandwiches the day before. So welcome back and thanks for joining us. That's an eloquent little phrase you put there. Welcome back and thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Welcome back, and also if you've never been here before, thanks for joining us. But also, thanks for joining us even if you've been here before. It works kind of, it's a universal thing.
Exactly.
Right? We appreciate all your support. We're up to 95 ratings on Apple Podcasts, which is what we're trying to beef that up. We get to 100 ratings. We're going to do something controversial. A controversial topic. Not we're going to do something controversial like,
like shut this
Although,
down.
you know what? 150, maybe we'll do something controversial. What could we do?
Yeah, exactly.
Burn an American flag. It's fairly controversial.
That's pretty controversial.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's what our founding fathers fought for.
Us
exactly.
To do
they wanted us.
Someday there'll be two assholes on whatever is a podcast.
Yeah, they knew what it was. The founding fathers, just like they knew what a fucking AR-15 was. And that's why they put it in the Constitution to make sure we could use them.
That's perfect.
Anyway, there are a lot of ways to support us with your wallet or with your words. You can spread the word to your friends. You can rate us on Spotify and Apple. You can give us a review. You can subscribe. If you want to leave comments on particular episodes, you can do that on YouTube.
Yep.
And if you want to throw us some money, you can do that on Patreon or Anchor. We have a bunch of patrons, a couple new ones, brand new patrons.
Welcome.
MGabev1. It's not.
You know what?
It's a tough one.
Don't forget the period. There's a period.
MGabeVW1. Period.
Thank
you for joining the
and
single
welcome
dad tier alongside Chris Coleman, Miriam, MS Babayan. And then we got Desiree. What's that song? You gotta be good, you gotta be free, you gotta be stronger.
Yeah.
That's what people come here for, people. That's why you come here. Our singing and our harmonizing, right? So, what was the name again? Desiree? Is that what you think it is?
Yeah.
Desiree, please correct us if we're wrong. She joins Sarah on the My New Dad tier, the Dad Bod tier, Barbara Geiger and Morning_Glow, and the Father Figure tier, Julie McCarthy, Sarge, a.k.a. Joseph Diachason, Paul Apolsky, the biggest Canadian Football League fan, I think,
But
this side of the Mississippi.
And parenting fan.
Is there a like does the Mississippi doesn't go up to Canada, right? So is there like a famous river in Canada?
No. Nope.
No rivers up there?
No, none.
Jennifer Wynn as well. And then the world's greatest dad tier, we got Mary Williams and Mom Party of Two. Thank you, one and all. We really appreciate all your support. You're all going to be getting a Dad and Buried koozie.
Coming up.
Which, if you're on YouTube right now, you can see this bad boy.
Oh, what's up, everybody?
It's fucking super koozie.
Yeah, so we're getting into it because...
Kids TV is something that every parent deals with.
Everybody has to deal with the same show over and over again.
So before we get into that, we do want to make a special announcement. We have a sponsor.
Oh my God.
Kinder Perfect. If you've ever played Cards Against Humanity and you were like, this doesn't reflect my life because my kids are not involved, well, guess what? Cards Against Humanity has a new version. It's actually not what it is. It's Kinder Perfect, and it is Cards Against Humanity kind of, but for parents and children.
And way more geared towards the
everything
horror.
is focused on the nightmare that is the daily life of a parent.
There you go.
And it is hilarious.
It's awesome.
And if you like this podcast, you're going to like that game.
Yeah. Also, if you like drinking while playing games, it's also
Oh my God, it's so fun. You can go to kinderperfect.com right now and put in the discount code 20 off daddy. That's 20 off daddy.
Right.
The daddy in question is obviously me.
Yep. Kinky.
It is a little kinky. I'm a good-looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
self-proclaimed.
Sometimes self-proclaimed.
Just immediately
self-proclaimed.
Just immediately tagged yourself as good-looking.
I did tag myself.
So there we go. That works too.
So check it out. We're gonna maybe next week's live. I think we're gonna play a little round.
We're gonna do it.
If you join our lives, we do one before we record every podcast on Monday night.
Yep.
Please join us next week. And coming up right after this, we're going to get into kids' TV shows and why they're horrible.
Can't wait. Right after this.
Paw Patrol, Puppy Dog Pals, Vampirina, Bluey, Blippi, TOTS, Gigantosaurus, PJ Masks, Peppa Pig, Abby Hatcher, Dora the Explorer, Captain Underpants, Fireman Sam, Thomas the Train, Chuggington, Blue's Clues, My Little Pony, Amazing World of Gumball, Unikitty, Barbie, Wonder Pets, Daniel Tiger, Baby Shark, Lincoln in the Loud House, Yo Gabba Gabba, Lion Guard, Teen Titans, Yokai Watch, Voltron, Pokemon, Ryan's Toy Review, Barney, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Unspeakable, Archibald Big Thing, Ninjago, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Dinosaur Train, Dino Trucks, Octonauts, Pocoyo, Superwise, Stinky and Dirty Troll Hunters, Wild Kratts, and probably many, many more. I haven't even heard of half of those. I haven't even heard of half of them. These are all shows that listeners wrote in to comment about, whether they liked or disliked.
I have watched every single episode of every single show. Just,
not
just
true.
Named.
So I said in the live earlier that I anticipated Caillou being the main offender. And I think Caillou has such a bad reputation that parents know even beforehand that they're just not going to let it happen.
Can I just say one quick thing?
What?
You added one. There's only one show in there that really stood out, which is Ryan's Toy Review, which
Ryan's
is actually
it's a YouTube. Yeah, we're getting into the YouTube stuff.
I know. I'm just saying that's the one that sticks out like a sore goddamn.
They got in trouble recently. There's an FCC violation for not
children
being transparent about their ads.
Totally. Yeah.
As they should. That kid's like a millionaire from unboxing show toys on his goddamn YouTube.
It makes me very upset.
It makes me upset as well. We're gonna get into some of the YouTube stuff a little later because it is a virus in my house.
Yeah.
Not the unboxing stuff. Watching like run-throughs of like Minecraft and Zelda and stuff. My kid likes to watch, and there's like adults who play the games and like comment and stuff. And literally half of my kids' vernacular and slang is from that shit. It's infuriating.
Why don't you do a better job of monitoring your
I'm not a good parent.
Oh, okay.
I'm lazy and I don't care. So Caillou, I thought was going to be the big one.
Oh my God.
There are only a handful of Caillou comments.
Listen, you bald little bitch.
So the main one I have here is...
hold on. Can you... Let's just try and describe what Caillou is.
I've never seen it.
Caillou is...
He's whiny is the problem, right?
First of all,
whiny.
It originates up in Canada. Okay?
The Great White North.
The Great White North. And quite frankly, our Canadian brothers are wonderful, except they've done one huge thing. There's a huge black mark in their entire cultural.
And it's Caillou?
And it's Caillou.
What about like Gordon Lightfoot?
No.
What about Justin Bieber?
No, listen. I basically still am getting over Bieber fever right now.
What about Rush?
Oh my God, Mike! Mike used to be the #1 Rush fan in college. Apparently, they used to call
Not
him,
in college. It was in high school.
They called him Rush.
It
right?
was high school.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of wearing like 2 Rush shirts within the first week of college.
Not even that.
And I had stopped listening to them already. I never got out. 2 at once. Slept in them for a week. Anyway.
So Caillou, this guy is a whiny asshole.
So he's whiny, and Allie Lee 23 says Caillou can die in a fire. I banned that shit before they were born, and I think that's what's happened. A lot of parents know how horrible he is.
Right.
One of the theories I've heard, and we're getting this a couple of fun theories later, mostly about Paw Patrol.
Yeah, okay.
One of the theories I heard about Caillou is that the reason he's bald is because he has cancer, like leukemia.
No.
He's a cartoon character.
No,
is
they
there
never
cancer
talk about
in
that.
Cartoon World? I haven't
No.
seen Cool World with Kim Basinger in a while.
You know what? You should do that.
I've never seen that film, and I
Okay.
never ever
Then
will.
why would you bring it up?
Because I brought it up because it's a fucking library of
Of
relevant
useless
pop culture knowledge
information.
up here.
Good call. Okay, so here's the deal. Definitely do this. If you've never seen Caillou, go and YouTube the 20 worst Caillou, like just whiny Caillou.
You know what? I would say
him,
if you've never
like,
seen
basically
Caillou,
acting
count
like a
your
total
stars and
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't direct our viewers to inflict
Right.
that upon themselves or our listeners.
Well, but then why is everyone hate Caillou so much?
Because
What is
he's
all that?
whiny and he's got cancer, and we don't have time for kids that can't survive.
We don't know.
It's survival of the fittest. This is 2019.
Okay, but hold on a second. But there's okay. Never mind. I was
So
gonna say something.
what I see, and I've never seen this next one either, but from what I could understand by a lot of the comments is that it's the new Caillou in terms of how whiny and annoying this kid's voice is. Blippy.
It's not a kid. Okay, so
Tell me about it. Is it like a fish?
No. So Blippi's on Amazon. Blippi's a human being, a man child who dresses up in like this like orange hat.
Sounds
And
like
he-
Zippy the clown, that
you know
comic
what?
strip.
It's just a guy who will fill an inflatable swimming pool, right? Like a small swimming
It's not
pool.
live action. It's a cartoon, though.
It's live action.
It's a live action?
Yeah.
Blippy?
Yeah.
All right. I honestly don't know.
His squeaky voice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
So Nadine X Watson said Blippy, his
Yeah.
squeaky goddamn voice haunts me every day.
Yeah.
Sam Gailing, Geilling, says, fuck Blippy.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Bajelland Chelsea says Blippy, and then just an angry face emoji. People
Right.
don't like Blippy.
No.
I could have done research. I could have gone and looked at all these
You know
terrible
what?
things people said. But why would I do that? I'm not a masochist. I'm a sadist. I like to inflict horrible things on other people.
Yeah, you know what?
That's why I had kids, to unleash them on the world.
And you're great at it.
I am great at it.
Both
Everyone
Nate
here is
and-
miserable.
Nate
My whole
and I-
family's miserable.
Absolutely.
It works like a fucking charm.
Yeah.
Stanford Mommy says, I love me some Odd Squad and I loathe Blippy. He provides legit migraine.
Shout out to Odd Squad.
J Bonin 15 says Blippy is annoying as fuck. The fact that he is a grown man literally
That's-
blows my mind.
That's really what the tough
What was
part
this? He
about
fills a
Blippy.
swimming pool and does what?
You know what? He will fill it with you know those balls that are like hype that like
Super balls?
Yeah, no, not super balls. That they're very absorb water. They're like
Sponge balls?
No, I don't know what the fuck
You're
they're
really
called.
crushing it. Maybe you should do the research.
Anyway, he at least I know what both Caillou and Blippy are. Caillou. I always say that.
You do, because you don't know how to read.
Also, but at the same time, I don't really watch Caillou
Because it doesn't exist.
because it never existed. But Blippy he's really geared towards the explainer, or not the he's a product. He's
What
a
is
product
the premise of the show?
He's a product of modern time. Like, oh, I'm just gonna dress up in a funny shirt and I'm gonna just like jump
Sit in a swimming pool?
Yeah, slip
What?
in a swimming pool full of like, these like bouncy balls or whatever the fuck they are, right?
It
Like,
doesn't matter.
I don't know. And he makes like sounds and stuff with his
You are
mouth.
doing a terrible job of describing the
No,
show.
actually, I'm doing a great job, and that's why everyone fucking hates him.
Good point. So another big one was Peppa Pig, who,
What?
as far as I understand, is a British pig.
Yes.
Again, another one I've never seen. maybe it's more like girls are a little bit more likely to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say Peppa Pig is a sweet show, but they.
Aww.
Yeah, it's like there's not too much, but people will watch the shit out of this thing, and that's the key.
It is popular. I hear about it a lot.
It's just how much.
And it's
you
not
watch
necessarily
this
that
shit.
I hate it. It's not.
There's no.
What I hear isn't necessarily like. It's not like people have like the level of vitriol they reserve for Caillou.
No.
It's more just like Peppa Pig's annoying and ubiquitous.
Well, I think the ubiquitous part is good, but it's generally like there's some themes that are pretty good. Ultimately,
Progressive. They have like a disabled character.
Yeah,
like, and
and
they're
it's
like
and it's a British
very
show.
inclusion.
Yeah, it's a British show.
It's British. Then
Yeah,
no wonder you like it
exactly.
so much.
It's absolutely
Go back
perfect.
to England. You
know
lobster
what?
back.
I'm going to. See
Are
ya.
you? How often do you go back?
Never.
Exactly. So Ebola_Rolla says my son loves
What?
Peppa Pig, but my husband hates it.
Hold on. Let's back up.
No. We're
Ebola_.
Ebola_Rolla. You don't like that name?
I don't know.
She likes to fucking gamble with viruses.
Good call.
Viri. Viri?
Good call.
Octopi?
All right.
Little Charmer 80, who literally, as always, sent me a goddamn fucking book of comments that I've broken up and put in their sections they should be in. Says Peppa Pig is an irritating little fuck nugget. The theme music gets in your head and is like crack to my kids.
Right.
But they throw in some adult humor, which
That's
I
what I'm
appreciate.
saying.
That's why I like Unikitty.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's not necessarily adult humor,
it's
different
more,
sensibility.
Exactly. It's just more
But it's like proper and it teaches manners and about like being tolerant of
which
people.
is not bad.
Tolerance is overrated.
I know. Well,
No. You don't know what I'm coming at.
I have to accept. We're on a text thread together, and it's
So
absolutely
what I'm saying
awful.
is tolerance is like a euphemism for like, oh yeah, you're worse than me, but I'll allow it, right? Acceptance is what we should be going for. Tolerance, I think, is kind of a loaded word. Like it implies superiority. Just saying. I wrote a blog post about it once. Yeah, I got
That's
serious.
just got
I get
deep.
serious every once in a while.
Damn.
Amy B8930 says, I know people moan about Peppa Pig, but I actually don't mind it.
Yeah.
Shut up, Amy. I don't tolerate you.
My
Just
God.
kidding. I've literally never seen this show.
Yeah.
It looks stupid to me. Pigs
It's not
named
It's-
Peppa with
it's
British
sweet.
accents.
It's a cute, sweet show.
Pete loves Peppa Pig.
Yeah, I do.
British.
I'm into it.
Arlene Keller says Peppa Pig is banned in my house and anything else goes, which that's quite a line to draw. No Peppa Pig, but anything fucking else. Faces of Death. You show your kids that?
Which one?
I've never seen it. I'm not interested in
Is
that.
it coming to VHS?
I'm not interested in that kind of
I
shit.
know, I'm not interested.
You know what I've never seen? Two Girls, One Cup. Not interested in that kind of shit either. Literally. No,
God,
thank you.
really?
Nate, you've seen it? Yeah. I don't need to see that.
No.
Just the description itself is enough to know I don't need to see it.
Good segue from Peppa to Two Girls. But I will say,
Thank you.
So I think that Peppa is the least offensive of these shows. Now I think that
Of the ones we've mentioned so far?
I think the ones that I think maybe the reason it's banned is probably because they're watching it so much. It's just on all the time, and that's slightly different
Well,
from
every show gets annoying if it's on too
well, there we
much,
go.
right?
Okay,
Except Seinfeld, I think.
And
It's
Yo
probably
Gabba.
the only one.
and maybe Yo Gabba Gabba.
No, Yo Gabba Gabba can get annoying too. Try
we're
it.
gonna get into
You'll
it.
like
I
it.
know.
Try
Don't-
it, and you'll
don't-
actually like Yo
Don't
Gabba Gabba.
bite your friends.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
bite
a
your
good-
friends.
It's a
That
good
shit's
message.
fucking
It's not on
awesome.
anymore though.
Don't bite your
We have
friends.
DVDs. So my oldest used to like that
Chomp,
show.
chomp, chomp.
And there's
Bite,
legit
bite,
music,
bite.
and like Jack Black is on an episode.
Oh,
Like there's
dude.
some shit. It's pretty good.
Anthony
Bourdain was on it?
Yes, he was a doctor on one. That show
Yeah, well,
was
that's
so
inaccurate.
boss.
He's not a doctor in real life. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
He's a chef.
He's a super.
Is he even a chef?
And
He
he's
was a
also-
chef,
No,
yeah.
you know what he is? A national treasure.
Well, not anymore.
You're a
People did
real-
love that
you're
guy.
a
I'm not into
monster. You're a
celebrity
monster.
chefs. I think
All right.
the whole entire concept is stupid. We're gonna do that in a future episode. Celebrity chefs and why they suck shit.
Oh my God.
Starting with Emerald. Bam.
Oh well, there we go.
So Paw Patrol, obviously a big one. We got some great comments for Paw Patrol. I actually don't mind Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol, something on the double. Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol.
There's some serious shit happening
I've been
downtown.
down with the fucking dogs.
Yeah. Have you seen the episode? Have you seen the
No.
episode where
I don't pay attention to any of this shit.
Adventure Bay gets overwhelmed with the opioid crisis?
Is that what it's called, Adventure Bay?
Yeah.
The opioid crisis,
Yeah. And Rubble dies.
So I don't understand. So there's the mayor on the show, and then there's the guy who's like the nefarious.
Goodwin.
The mayor is the woman, right?
Yeah, good
And
Mayor
then there's the
Goodwin.
guy who's like a villain,
Yeah, he's a real dick.
and he
face.
tries to enlist his cats to do mean things.
Yeah, because cats
Right?
are dicks.
I
Just
like
men.
cats.
Yeah, you would.
I'm a big fan of cats.
Have you seen the one where Rubble dies? It's a sad episode.
You know what?
Suicide.
It's
by
not
cop.
that edgy. Suicide by Cop was pretty good. I would watch that episode.
You know what?
So
Chase has a lot to explain.
It's a very aggressive response, Chase. So Ginger Ninja 999, who's commented
What?
before, and I like her name, says her kid watches Paw Patrol. She hates Paw Patrol, but catches herself watching it when he's not around. This doesn't happen to me, right? So a lot of parents say this about shows where like the kid will leave the room and they'll keep watching the show. Okay,
No,
fine.
Paw
Maybe with
Patrol,
Unikitty
no.
that happens
Yeah.
to me a little bit.
Or Yo Gabba Gabba, but not with Paw Patrol. I don't know.
I don't know, but you're not putting the show on
No.
when the kid's not even around, right?
No.
You're like putting on like Pornhub or something. Let's be honest.
Are you?
Not me, you. I was saying.
Okay.
I watch Faces of Death.
7.
Little Tremor 80 back again says Paw Patrol's annoying as hell. The theme song, the
Yeah.
dumb catchphrases such as "Chases on the case" and "Rubble on the double."
Not
And
anymore.
why the fuck are they in a band? They're dogs. First of all,
They're not in a band. They're a team.
no, but apparently there's an episode with a band. It doesn't fucking matter. These are not the right questions, right? So like they're dogs and they can talk, right? If you want to really get down in the nitty gritty, right? There's a lot of things that don't make
And
sense.
they can operate
The band is the least of
super
it.
heavy
Machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, I mean, it's a suspension of disbelief.
Writer.
Our Boston Bond 4, who's a dedicated commenter on our podcast topic, says Paw Patrol has been going strong for 6 years in her house, and she has some questions too. Where are Ryder's parents? How did he get all these damn dogs? And why does he have a direct line to the mayor?
You know what?
He's
got
what, 12?
He's got his own fucking tower. He's got all unlimited funds.
Unlimited power.
You know what? This guy needs to be.
Well, no, hold
straight up
on. There's a theory
investigated.
about the funds coming up from our loyal listener and patron,
Okay.
Mary Babayan. She detests Paw Patrol. She says there are no semi-intelligent adults anywhere on that show. Even the mayor of the town is a complete
Right.
moron with a chicken. I don't know what the chicken has to do with it.
Yeah, no, it's.
Is that a signifier
it's
of being
banal.
dumb?
No, you know what it is? It's just banal. It's
I don't like the word banal because it makes me uncomfortable to pronounce it. I like what it means, but it makes me uncomfortable to say banal. I
Okay.
feel like a jerk.
Well, that's weird.
Right?
Yeah,
Banal is
banal.
even more
Yeah.
disgusting, Nate, you pervert.
Why don't you're a big banal fan, actually.
Well, you know what?
Fan of
If
banal.
only Mom and Barry. My big pet peeve is when Ryder has to summon the pups, I assume she meant, unless Gladys Knight is on this show. I haven't seen that episode. My big pet peeve is when Ryder has to summon the pups to the lookout when they are right fucking next to him. Does that happen?
You know
He has
what?
to, he
Here's
like
what-
gets the conch out. Oh
No, here's what Mary's doing. She's pointing out holes in the plot that
Of a
shouldn't-
cartoon show about
shouldn't-
talking dogs.
About that drive vehicles.
Yeah, I know. These people
and, like,
are ridiculous. And then she says, where does Ryder get all the money for these gadgets? She saw an article once that suggested a conspiracy theory that Ryder is Elon Musk's bastard son.
You know what?
Please make that an episode.
That's such a good call. And Mayor Goodwin, by the way, is a real son of a bitch.
Mayor Goodwin's not
Yeah.
a good person?
I'm just saying this. Honestly, campaign finance reform. Okay? Do you understand? Because there's no way she should actually be mayor. She's totally out of it most of the time. And her opposing from the other town, whatever that fucking mayor's name is,
No
he's
idea.
constantly
Sir
invading.
Topham Hatt, is he from the other town?
That's actually... You know what? We'll talk about that in a second.
Thomas
but
the
no.
Train did not
I
come
know.
up a lot.
Thomas the Tankin. You know, also...
Thomas the Tankin.
Tankin. I'm tanking.
Thomas Potemkin.
Honestly, I smell burnt toast.
You should.
You know just to switch to Thomas, the Fat Controller in England when I grew up, it was the Fat Controller. What's
Not
his
Sir
name?
Topham Hatt?
No,
They don't have a
called
problem
him
with...
a Fat Controller.
So they had no
No,
problem with fat
sorry,
shaming in
not
England.
A Fat Controller, the Fat Controller.
The Fat Controller was his name?
That was his
What
name.
is a Topham?
I think they just needed to work in his wardrobe.
Topham?
Yeah, so like
What is Topham? Sir Topham?
it's probably a place in England. You
Let's
know
get
what I mean?
real here.
Somewhere-
Sodor? Little bit too close to some Sodom, perhaps?
No one would think. Why?
I don't know, man. Look, I'm a student of the Bible. I'm a student of the Bible. Sodom and Gomorrah
All right.
clearly is what Sodor is based on. It's this damned cursed fucking island where
Sodor
trains
sounds
can
like-
talk.
sounds like
Those
baking
trains are
soda.
creepy as fuck. I don't
Sounds
like
like
their
baking
voices. I don't
soda.
like what they do. I don't like anything about that
You
show.
don't like their expressions?
I
when
don't
they
like
get
their
angry?
expressions.
God, they get psycho when they get angry. All right, well, we're going to get into it. So.
No, because nobody really talked about Thomas. My kids loved all that train shit.
Really?
My 3-year-old still loves train shit.
That merch, though.
That merch, man.
They fucking merch the shit out
Cha-ching.
of it.
And Chuggington is like it's
Kids,
like an American knockoff. It's equally
it's like, how
stupid.
do we like take something that's a beloved childhood like sort of staple and make it American?
Call it Chuggington, and they
Chuggington.
just drink a shitload of beer on that show.
they go
Yeah,
chug,
they really
chug,
crush it.
chug,
Just
chug.
shotgunning all the time.
Yeah.
Paul Apolsky, the world's biggest CFL fan, says Paw Patrol is tolerable but makes no sense. It's a fucking cartoon about dogs who are like an elite rescue unit.
They're saving.
It's supposed to make sense.
Literally, they're saving Adventure Bay constantly.
It's such a stupid name for a place to live, Adventure Bay. It's
You know-
almost as bad as Sodor / We already got into
No,
that.
we don't need to. But the thing is that Adventure Bay, it's a lot like Cabot Cove from
I recognize the name.
Cabot Cove is from Murder She Wrote.
Oh, I don't
But
recognize
by
that.
far and away the most deadly town in the United
history of
States.
the world, yeah. And the only way to solve it is to have a senior citizen cracking the case.
Do you know how many murders occurred there on a yearly basis? It was like 400.
I have a soft
It
spot
was
for
absolutely
I
deadly.
have a soft spot for. I almost called her Margaret Thatcher. No joke. Angela Lansbury, who's in one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, The Manchurian Candidate. Go watch it, everybody.
Yeah, I did.
She's fucking great
beautiful.
in it.
She's
Oh,
awesome
no,
in
no,
that.
calm
she
down.
is. No, she's awesome in that.
She's okay. No, she is great in it. She's very creepy.
The
Unbelievably
King
good
of
movie. Don't
Spades.
spoil anything,
Okay.
please. Don't please.
You don't spoil anything.
You know what? I'm sorry I'm spoiling your Monday night, you
Yeah.
jerk. So, I mentioned this earlier. The trains were big in my house. You know, we also didn't come up rescue bots.
Yes.
Huge in my house for a while. Not currently.
Yeah, the offshoot of Transformers.
But rescue bots is essentially the same thing as Paw Patrol, except instead of dogs, it's Transformers.
You know what though?
Right? They all have stupid. Like there's one that's like a dump
No.
truck. There's one that's
Yeah.
like a fucking bulldozer. They're
There's-
all
there's one
one.
that's-
There's ones
a
that's a
sex
cop,
worker,
but
one's
they're
a
all
sex
like
worker.
like Chase on Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
You know what? Someone should look into this. They're the same fucking show, right? One of them is
my
a
God, Mike.
fireman. One of them is a cop. One of them is some kind of fucking construction worker.
You're breaking the code here, man.
I am. I cracked the code. I fucking nailed it.
They're all goddamn the same. And Peppa Pig, the same thing. She's a robot that transforms into.
You're
no,
blowing
she's
it.
not.
You know what? I was right. It's the same goddamn thing.
The difference is that Rescue Bots is actually more interesting and has more merit because
So-
they tackle things like acceptance.
Do they?
Yeah, because Rescue Bots were sent here on a mission to live with humans, even though they could wipe us out.
But they live in another fucking some
They
kind of
could wipe-
town like Adventure Bay. That's the same kind of thing where there's like it's a self-contained thing and it's in a bubble. It's like Lost.
yeah, they could wipe us the fuck out,
If
but
they
they
wanted
don't.
to. No.
Because they
Because they're service bots.
instead they want to learn from our species so they can take it back to
This
whatever
is all
shithole
dumb.
planet.
Transformers is dumb.
And thankfully, our immigration process is strong enough
It is.
that a lot of
Thank
them have
you,
been
President
locked
Trump.
Up. Yeah.
So my kid, my 8-year-old, or he's 9 now,
Yeah, whatever.
used to love rescue bots, but now he likes actual Transformers.
Yeah, that's the way to go. The old timey cartoon, because that's the
No,
fucking best.
no. Well, obviously we think that's the best. We're gonna
No.
get into that, some of that old school stuff coming up next. First, I want to get into the literal bane of my existence, which is YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, my kids they don't watch the unboxing shit like Ryan's Toy Review, which a lot of people like Dad and Bloated and Jenny Benny 00, and Kara Shepman said Ryan's Toy Review is a goddamn nightmare and not allowed in my house. P Butter Mama says fucking hate Ryan's Toy Review and Try Not to Laugh on YouTube. Is Try Not to Laugh a show on YouTube, or is she just saying she tries not to laugh on YouTube?
No, probably sure.
Because I would watch it.
probably
I
a
would probably
channel.
watch a YouTube channel of somebody trying not to laugh, unless that's what that is actually about, and then in which case I agree with it.
So what happens is there are little kids that play with toys, and their parents
they open toy boxes and reveal the toys,
not
and then
just that, like,
show
they're
them in
really,
action.
There's a lot of it's all like versus like slime versus like powder.
Oh,
or whatever
really?
the
Your
fuck it
kids
is.
watch this shit?
No, I watch this shit because I'm like fucking trying to figure out what to keep my kids away from.
Yeah.
And by the way, slime is way grosser.
Yeah, we don't do the
Thanks.
slime thing.
No, but
so,
the point being is that there's a lot of channels out there that put their kids front and center, which I totally disagree with. So
Yeah, visit
there you go.
dadandberry.com. Anyway, don't bite your friends. This is in a nutshell. She says, or he says, I think it's a she, says, I used to say Caillou was the worst, but
Don't
now
bite
it's,
your friends.
but now it's all the bullshit they find on YouTube.
That's straight from Yo Gabba Gabba.
Okay, don't bite your
handle.
friends. She nailed it. She says she used to say Caillou was the worst, but now it's all the bullshit they find on YouTube, which is problematic for a lot of reasons. A, it's all bullshit. B, once you get into YouTube, there's a whole world of problems, right?
Dark.
People are splicing, dick pics in the middle of stuff
really,
like in Fight Club. I know. They hide stuff.
At the end of the Paw Patrol algorithm, there's you watch 3 Paw Patrols or whatever, and then it gets fucking real weird.
But there's YouTube Kids, which is a separate app that you can do, which hopefully prevents some of that. So here's something funny. Deeds, that's Deed, D-E-E-D, and 4 Z's, says YouTube videos with cars. That's it. Nothing else. He refuses anything that doesn't include cars. For my kid gets fixated on stuff too. Somebody says later, my kid, if there's a dog in it, their kid will watch it. My kid's a little bit like that, where he'll love dogs, or he'll get into a zone where he wants, or either.
Cartoon. Okay.
Or he'll get into a zone where he wants to see, rocket ships, right? And he'll watch a bunch of shit about rocket ships or whatever. But the problem I have is my kids watch these things called, he used to watch Preston Plays, which is like a fucking 20-something dude who looks like he's 11, who's somehow married, and he plays Minecraft with friends. They're all wearing headsets playing Minecraft together somehow and just talking shit. They don't swear. Although I think I maybe heard an F-bomb once or twice where we were like, no more of this. But even without that, it is so annoying hearing them. And my kid always seems to listen to this shit super loud. I can't tell you how many times I have to say turn it down. Because we're at the point now where he can get up and turn on something on the weekends and we can sleep in a little bit. And then you just hear this fucking idiot 25-year-old millionaire who's more successful than I'll ever be in my entire life, annoying the shit out of me and infusing my kid with this dumbass slang shit.
Right.
It's fucking infuriating. So we banned Preston Plays, and then he found Unspeakable, which is the same exact fucking thing, right? They do the same shit. They walk through Minecraft, and sometimes he finds shit where he watches people play Zelda, because he's obsessed with Zelda, and just hearing these guys chirping and saying this nonsense is sickening. And then my toddler is in the room, and now my toddler walks around going, "What the heck, man?" Which I'm pretty sure is something these guys say, which is really cute when my toddler says, "What the heck, man?" Right? It's really cute. And then you realize he's just being raised by these YouTube personalities, and I'm a piece of shit, and this is really all my fault.
Yeah, because you're too busy sleeping.
Yeah. Because I need some sleep, all right? But that's why I hate YouTube. It's not the unboxing videos. It's not the secret porn, although they may be seeing that. Frankly, I do not pay enough attention.
Yeah, it's hard.
But these annoying personalities who play these video games, what is the appeal of watching someone else play a video game?
Dude, have you never, when you were growing up,
No.
you never went to your friend's house?
No, I would fucking leave. I'd be like, it's my turn next, and I would be on my iPhone at 8 years old being like, is it my turn yet? Obviously, I couldn't do that because they didn't exist. But I would not be watching. It was not fun.
You call yourself a friend of mine, and people are like, no.
No. In college, I had roommates or guys next door, like the room next door, who'd be playing video games. No, I'm not going to fucking watch you play. This is not appealing to me.
All right. Well, then you really fucking missed out on a huge slice of life, my friend.
No, I didn't. I was living my life.
Were you?
Was I?
Clarinet?
God damn it. Why do you have such a thing against clarinets, Pete? I did not play the clarinet in college. I haven't played it since I was 17 years old.
That's
once or twice
close
when I
to being
when I
going
fucking
to college.
Yes, it was between.
Was
I was in the fucking marching band in high school, and then as soon as I graduated, I never fucking touched it ever again, except for 3 times when I played the goddamn 90210 theme, and the crowd went wild.
And then you called it the summer of the net, and people are like, "Wow, the internet, that's pretty good." And you're like, no, clarinet.
You're a fucking piece of shit. I thought you were talking about the Sandra Bullock film, The Net.
No,
which I saw in the theater.
I'm talking about the film that has not yet been made, called about your personal life story. Called
You know what?
The
Dad
Net.
and Buried, Summer of the Net. Origin story.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little earlier about the old school Transformers, and a bunch of people did say they like their kids watch some old school stuff, but there's a lot of old school stuff that has been rebooted. like
Yeah.
new versions of it, right? So Dana Bosday, she's going through our episodes, and she says she has 9 left to catch up.
Nice.
Appreciate your dedication,
Come on,
Dana.
Dana. Let's
She
go.
says, what's old is new again. Inspector Gadget has a new version. I've actually made, my son has watched that. Carmen Sandiego, my son really liked that.
That's garbage, the Inspector Gadget one, yeah, but yeah.
My son, the Inspector. Have you seen the movies with Matthew Broderick? Oh my
No,
God, they're
no.
some of the worst movies that have ever been made. Voltron, there's a
Voltron,
new
I'm
version,
into
which is
that.
so shocking.
I'm into that.
I didn't love it when I was a kid, but I watched it
I'm
sometimes.
super into it.
Transformers, there's a new version. There's a new version of Muppet Babies, which our friend Mary Babayan says she likes.
Yeah.
He-Man is being rebooted for Netflix. I loved me some He-Man when I was a kid.
I never got it. The Man at
You never got
Arms.
it? It's real sexy. The
Yeah,
guy's
yeah.
half naked and he's busting out.
Yeah, yeah,
I really like
constantly.
the cat Cringer. And then when he did the I Have the Power thing,
Power,
he
and
turned into
yeah.
Battle Cat with armor on him.
Okay, yeah.
I always thought Cringer was a
was
cool
good.
name for a cat.
You know-
Orko was a real piece of shit,
I was
though.
more of a G.I. Joe guy.
I like G.I. Joe, too.
Oh my
You know what?
God.
It's not mutually exclusive. And I
know.
resent the implication.
I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying
My
it's not
favorite
even
G.I.
listed here.
Joe, there was a 2-parter, I think, with
There's a
Dusty,
movie. There's
who
a
was a
movie.
double agent. The movies are... Oh, no, the cartoon movie with, like,
Yeah.
Serpentor and
Yeah.
shit? Yeah, it's the shit.
fucking
I'm just talking about
awesome.
episodes. I never owned the figures.
Oh, Dusty was a double agent.
Dusty
I
was a
think
double
so.
agent in like a 2 or 4-parter. Like they
Yeah.
did some weirdly ambitious shit.
God,
There
Snake
was an
Eyes?
episode where Sergeant Slaughter, who was like a wrestler, was
Yes.
on the crew.
Yeah.
And at one point, he uses a fingernail to unscrew something, like to put his
hot.
finger.
That's actually, you know what? I've used that all the
It
time.
is hot.
I use that all the time.
Look, look. Just because it turned me on doesn't mean that I'm a deviant.
Mom, what is this thing in my pants?
So Little Charmer 80 chimes in again and says the Muppets and Fraggle Rock were some of the shit that she watched as a kid.
Fraggle
And then
Rock.
she said there's some UK,
That was
because
so good.
she's from Nottingham.
Yeah.
She says there's some UK only stuff like Bagpuss. Do you know of it?
No, I don't know
You are
Bagpuss.
such a fucking liar.
But
You,
you know-
never lived in
No,
England.
but you know what I do? What I was super psyched to hear my son or see my son watching Danger Mouse. That's the greatest cartoon.
Never watched it.
Coming out of the UK.
What about Pinky and the Brain?
That's Animaniacs. It's a Steven Spielberg movie. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Out of here.
They're
Danger
both
Mouse.
mice. They're all mice.
Danger Mouse. Do. It had such a
Okay.
good. It was so good. And Penfold, his sidekick, was just like this little.
Penfold was from not Pinky. It sounds very similar to Pinky and the Brain to me.
It's not. Well, if it is, it's only because they.
I didn't
copied
watch
it.
either. Let's be honest.
Danger Mouse was absolutely amazing.
So another
love that.
old school thing. So Sarah _J281 said my oldest used to watch Teletubbies. Is that still on?
Couldn't get into
Pinky,
that.
Tinky, Winky? I've never seen
Yeah,
it.
no, I couldn't
I've
get into
seen it accidentally, but it's never been watched.
It's very bizarre. That's a British show, but it's very, very odd with like a sun baby.
yeah, no,
I
I've
think
seen
they
it.
recently said that baby is now grown and has a child of her own.
This information we don't need.
I mean, no one needs to know that. I don't think.
So Chow Bella 4 says her daughter's obsessed with Gigantosaurs, but she herself likes Muppet Babies. I loved Muppet Babies as a kid. I haven't seen this new version. The show when I was a
don't even
kid.
know what Gigantosaurus is. That's
Neither do
one
I.
have not heard
But the
of.
Muppet Baby show when I was a kid was very focused on like using your imagination, and they would like open different doors and like, you know, they would go into different worlds, I think, and stuff. And they never showed the mom, although I don't think it was a mom, because how do you give birth to felt puppets?
Easy.
But you only saw her
First,
like
you
from
go
the
to a
legs,
bar,
the
you
waist
drink,
down. Yeah, you drink a
lot.
lot. AAA Mommy 25 says Phineas and Ferb is the best children's show of all time. Never
I've heard
seen it.
this, but I've heard good
Nickelodeon?
Things about it. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. It was sort of like it was a kids show, but it had like a tremendous. It's like SpongeBob, where there's like a lot of adult content.
Yeah,
in
adult.
it, like sort of very sort of tongue in cheek, if you will.
Sarah 2 Remen says, I love when we watch Scooby-Doo, and she bans SpongeBob and his stupid laugh. I don't mind SpongeBob because I feel like that's slightly more sophisticated.
It is more
humor-wise,
sophisticated,
and I
yeah.
appreciate that, and I
Exactly.
want my kids to have a good sense of humor. I loved Scooby-Doo as a kid.
Yes.
There's been a bunch of different versions of the cartoon. For a little while, my son was into it because he loves like supernatural shit and like mysteries and that kind of stuff, but there's not a current version on right now,
I don't
don't
know.
think. But they changed the animation and like a bunch of times, like new versions of that.
The old animation. I mean, am I right? Was it the best or what? Or am
Well,
I just
obviously
like
you
old
think
and shit?
yes, the latter.
But
You're
come
old
on.
and shit. But I mean, look, there was Batman and Robin showed up on that thing. The Harlem Globetrotters for some reason, like they had weird crossover like events,
Yeah.
which was fun. So not everybody, like there are not a lot of shows that had a lot of consensus, right? But there were a lot of comments about different shows, like I read at the top. So we're gonna get into some more of these specific comments where people kind of talked about something random about a show, maybe a one-line kind of thing, right? So Ali Lee 23 says her youngest watches SpongeBob and she has no problem with that. It got weird though. The whole thing is, wasn't it always weird from the start?
It was supposed to be
The
weird,
guy who does the voice of SpongeBob is he's from my favorite sketch comedy show of all time, Mr. Show. Just a little tidbit. I'm blanking on his name right now, even though I know it.
He also did Rocco.
What's Rocco?
Rocco's Modern Life, early 90s cartoon.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. God damn it with this guy. You were what, 3 years old in the early 90s?
Yeah.
Go to hell. KD Twinkum says, I leave Disney Junior on because there are a few commercials, and one of her kids will watch pretty much anything as long as there's a dog in it. I mentioned her earlier. Their father got them into Nickelodeon, but I don't like the channel because the girls have no patience for commercials, or when they see the commercials, they see a toy they want.
Right.
My kid freaks out when he sees commercials because most of the shit he watches is streaming.
Yeah, and he's like, "This is the best."
What the fuck is this
He's
junk?
like, "This is
or
so-"
I
No,
want
he's
this
like,
new
"This is
toy.
great." Yeah.
When I was a kid, the toy I wanted, it's the one I remember, was there's a remote control car called the Claw, where on the tires, like a little claw came out to help it like climb up things.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. I really wanted it. There's no way it worked that well. There's also, do you remember there's like the Etch-a-Sketch that you could like kind of program?
No.
And you could turn your Etch-a-Sketches into like animations, but it was fucking painstaking. You had to like draw each. It was like being an animator where you had to like, back in like the 30s, right?
No,
Where you had
it
to
wasn't
like,
being an animator. It was being like a fucking tortured human.
that's what
to
animators
draw-
were, where
to
each
draw-
cell was a kind of a different.
Okay, but to hand draw it to Etch-a-Sketch.
Etch-a-Sketch,
is,
yeah.
like,
I think that's what it
impossible.
was. Maybe there was a pen. God damn it,
Every
shut up.
single person who got an Etch-a-Sketch did like did
Oh,
a
you did
circle,
stairs?
did a circle,
Yeah.
did a stare,
And thought they
then-
were
And then
amazing.
you just shook it, and you're like, all right, this sucks.
It's a movie
Next.
Elf where Will Ferrell like writes a bunch of shit because elves learn how to do Etch-a-Sketch
yeah.
really well for some reason. Sarah Yvette says Baby First
I don't
is a
know.
show
I
her
haven't
kid
heard
watches and she wants to strangle herself. I've never heard of it.
Sounds.
Anyone?
No.
Brax1117 says her son likes Captain Underpants, or his son likes Captain Underpants.
I like
will also
it.
sit and watch Snapped with me, so I can't complain. You let your kid watch Snapped? That's a show about like women
what
who
that is.
snap on their husbands because they're like being abused, or
What?
they put the socks next to the hamper instead of in the hamper. That's the kind of thing my wife gets upset about.
Yeah. Wait a second. This is a TV show.
It's
Or
like
is
it's
this
like a
real?
true crime show. It's like Dateline, but it's Snapped. It's on Lifetime or some shit,
Oh, really?
or Discovery Network. I don't know what it's on.
Interesting.
I hear about it all the time.
Okay.
Women like Snapped because it's like justification. They live vicariously through the wives who murder their husbands.
Those fucking socks. I
Yeah.
told you to put your socks
In the hamper,
goddamn
not
hamper.
next to the hamper.
Son of a
I'm
bitch.
sorry that I missed it with the shot.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You take a shot at the hamper.
Yeah. First of
Gotta
all,
make it fun.
First of all, it was 7 points, and you're across the room.
That's football.
I'm just saying, like, but you're gonna make it more points because obviously you're way farther across. You're outside the 3-point zone. You're now at the 7.
So this is the MTV Rock and Jock basketball.
Plus,
It's like
you
a
gotta
25 point
rebound
shot.
it off the door. Yeah,
Remember
of
Rock
course.
and Jock games? You don't even know what that
Nah,
means.
fuck you.
E underscore E Brosnan brings up Bubble Guppies, which she's found super cute and bearable, which
It's
I've never
okay.
seen it.
Yeah, it's Bubble Guppies. Is like you kind of there's some learning that happens. It's like, hey, how many mailboxes do they have to pass before?
But it's
they-
not about fish?
Yeah, there's some fish in it. I mean, there's the
Because
main
it makes
characters
me
are
think
fish.
of Octonauts, which the next person
Yeah.
said, life.as.umma says she loves Octonauts, so informative. She finds herself waiting for the end of the creature report. I fucking loved Octonauts. I thought all the animals in it were very cute.
Yeah.
Captain Barnacle or whatever.
Yeah.
And the creature report song was good, and I can't remember it.
Creature
Report. Creature report.
Yeah.
I really kind of liked Octonauts. It was interesting.
You know what? There's an interesting crossover between Paw Patrol and Octonauts. The opioid crisis had also affected
Underwater
the
creatures. Remember
It
Snorks,
was really,
which was
really
like
a
the
shame.
Smurfs, but it was
Yeah.
creatures that lived underwater, and they had like built-in snorkels because that's how they had evolved.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, when I was a child.
Like
Um,
1820.
Wild Kratts is another one that a handful of people brought up. My
That's
kid loved
good.
as a kid, where it was like it's a mix
That's
between
good.
live
No,
action
it's great.
and cartoons. Yeah, it was
It's
good,
super
very
good.
informative. It's
Yeah.
like watching National Geographic or some shit. It's educational. The PBS shows are obviously kind of a step above,
Oh my
right?
God, they're
if
way
you can
better.
keep your kid interested in them,
Yeah.
they actually really do learn some stuff.
Yeah.
So Daniel Tiger is a PBS show, and Maples Flower says she loves it because it teaches kids not to be assholes. So Daniel Tiger, and I only have a vague understanding of this, but is like it's repurposed Mr. Rogers episodes
Yeah.
put in animated
He's
form.
an offshoot of,
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Excuse
Daniel
me.
Tiger is like a character, like a puppet character
Right.
from the original Mr. Rogers, and they made
Right.
a
Remember
cartoon
the train?
version.
Remember the train? He used
The
to
train
do the
town?
little train thing. And
Yeah,
then
with the king
it was
something.
so weird. And what was,
was
that
so
part?
weird.
And the king and the little
It
like
freaked me
beep,
out.
beep, beep,
Yeah,
and,
King
like, the
Nothing, King Thursday.
And
Is
then
that what it was?
And then the
King Thursday?
his wife or something.
His wife.
There was a woman.
Queen
Queen-
Nagface, I think.
I don't
That
know.
wouldn't. That doesn't sound like
That
something
doesn't
Mr. Rogers
sound
would
like-
say.
no.
A lot of Mr. Rogers material coming out. Tom Hanks is coming out in a movie where he plays Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Apparently he's only in like a third of the movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because it's
he's
about
not
the
in-
What about
journalist.
someone else, too?
The journalist. So there's a journalist for Esquire named
Yeah.
Tom Junod who like had to do a story on Mr. Rogers years ago, and he
Yeah.
wrote, and it ended up kind of like changing his life and his perspective on it. And they're dramatizing that for the movie and making it even more of a bigger deal. But the documentary about Mr. Rogers was pretty good. Came out last year, I
Huh.
believe.
Was he affected by the opioid crisis or
What
or
the
no?
fuck is the stick up your
I'm
ass
just-
about this opioid
not
crisis?
not a stick up my ass. It's just a whole thing that's happening across our entire country that's getting
Okay.
no attention.
It's getting plenty of
Sackler?
attention, but wait, the percentage of attention it's getting on our podcast is really outsized.
Oh my
So
God.
Ebola Rolla, which is Ebola_Rolla, which is your
Ebola
favorite
Rolla,
username.
Yes.
A couple people brought this up. She said in Australia we have a show called Bluey. It's about a family of blue heeler dogs, and it's great. And then Hardy Mama says there's a totally palatable and relatable one that's new to the Disney platform from Australia, or it's new in the U.S. called Bluey.
Oh my
Check
God.
it. And Rayo Kate, Raokait, says they're obsessed with Bluey on Disney Junior. To be honest, I really like it. So
Look
this
at-
sounds like one that parents and kids can enjoy. I have no idea what it is. When she says it's about blue heeler dogs, it just makes me think of where the red fern grows, and I don't even know if there's any relation. What's a blue heeler dog?
Well, not only that, but what I like about this is how Ebola Rolla from Australia was like, "Hey, there's a great show," and then immediately was just immediately vindicated by
A bunch of
couple
other people.
yeah,
Well, I
exactly
put
what you're
those in
saying.
order,
Yeah.
so it wasn't necessarily immediate.
No,
I
it was
made it
immediate.
because
It
I,
was
I put the notes together
absolutely
that made
immediate.
fucking logical
Thank
sense.
you, Internet.
All right.
You're the best.
GJR Scott 2002 says, "Have you seen Fireman Sam? It annoys the fuck
It
out of
is-
me.
it is
Why
kinda
does a small village have the equipment that it does? And secondly, why haven't they locked up Norman Price? He keeps setting things on fire. He needs psychiatric help, not to be allowed to roam free. So apparently there's an arsonist on
Yeah.
Fireman Sam that makes Fireman Sam's job essential.
You know what? This place in Cabot Cove have the same one town. The sleepy town in England has an arsonist problem, and the sleepy town in Maine has a murder problem.
I wrote a screenplay once.
Except for the difference in Cabot Cove, everyone is murderer.
I wrote a screenplay once that there was a small plot point about firemen who started their own fires so that they could put them out. I don't remember what the rest of it was about.
Isn't that the story of Backdraft? Isn't that literally the plot of Backdraft?
Never seen it. I've never heard of it.
What?
Spoilers.
Oh, you're never gonna watch
my list.
Backdraft.
Okay.
It's on your list. It is not an essential
All right,
film,
I'm
Nate.
sorry, everybody, if I spoiled Backdraft.
A 25-year-old
The-
meaningless movie.
The William Baldwin vehicle.
Older than 25 years
The
old. What is it?
William-
Like 93?
Perhaps the William Baldwin vehicle is not.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna watch a William Baldwin vehicle, it better be fucking Sliver with Sharon Stone. Anyway, The Irishman, the new Scorsese movie, is getting fucking raves. It's 3.5 hours long, and people are losing their minds over it.
Right?
Can't wait.
Okay.
FYI. What the fuck? You got a problem with that? I watched Mean Streets recently.
No, I just watched.
Get your head out of your ass.
I just watched Once Upon a Time and
In America or in
no,
Hollywood?
in Hollywood.
Yeah, I
It
know.
was
We've
a
talked
little-
about this several times,
was
and
a
you're
little-
wrong about it.
That was a little long.
Sarah Gannat says, "My boys are into Ninjago and Pokemon.
Yep.
I get sucked in and I don't mind it. The toddler shows drove me more nuts."
Yeah.
And I think that's the consensus, right? The toddler shit is annoying because it's like just annoying characters and voices and stuff to appeal to young kids who have mush brains.
But hold on a second. We have not talked about what is the greatest show
my
on
God.
TV for kids. Is
Succession?
Yo Gabba Gabba.
Oh, we have talked about it several
No,
times
but I'm
already.
just saying, like that was.
It's not
that
on
is-
it's not on
that is-
anymore.
I know, but that's okay. It can still be the best show ever, like Seinfeld. Your favorite show?
Yeah, but Seinfeld is on like Netflix. Yo Gabba Gabba is really hard to find.
No,
you have to
it-
go on like YouTube or something, right?
Yeah, well, it's
It's
exclusive.
not available places.
But-
yeah, I'm a fan of Yo Gabba Gabba. Calm down.
All right, well, let's get into it, everybody.
Yo
Gabba
Gabba
Gabba,
Gabba.
DJ Lance Rock.
So we went to the live
I
show.
know, me too.
of Yo
Oh,
Gabba
that
Gabba,
was
yeah.
so awesome. With Biz
Um,
Marquee. Was Biz Marquee there?
I don't remember. I saw him at a show in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and
Biz's
when he
Beats.
does his fucking big hit.
Biz's Beats of the day.
You got what I
need.
need. The fucking crowd was so into it. It's really fun when you're in a situation like that. Like I've been at concerts where like the crowd just takes over, like Pearl Jam, like Better Man and shit, which I don't even really like that song.
Right.
But when the fucking crowd is all singing in unison, it's pretty powerful. I was in a small joint for this Biz Markie thing, and who gives a shit about that song besides like the nostalgia factor? But it was fun to sing along to.
Did he do Biz's Beats of the day?
I wasn't paying attention. I left and then I came back in when they were doing that.
You left?
No, it was like I went to get a beer and then I hung out in the beer area where the beer was.
Got it. Because you like beer with squee.
I like beer with squee.
With squeaky.
Yeah.
Or squee.
So
How's your dad's
the
coming?
Ninjago was very big for my kid for a while.
Ninjaga's funny.
And the
It's
movie,
got
like the Lego Ninja, is it all Lego?
Yeah.
Ninjago?
Yeah.
I saw that movie in the theater with my kid. That's got
good.
some funny stuff in it.
It's got
The Lego
humor.
movie, like their sensibility
very
is cool.
humorous,
I've seen all the
yeah.
Lego movies in the theater, or the two of them.
Can I just say we
No.
haven't talked about it? Well, Lego's coming up, but we haven't really talked about it because a lot of these are toddler shows. But watch out for these sort of tween shows like Big Time Rush.
No, I'm not into it.
Just
My kids aren't
fucking
tweens.
absolute
These Disney live
garbage.
action things,
Oh
I'm not
my
into.
God.
No.
Or even there's a Netflix show called Sharko. And
Sharko?
What's it called? It's called Zig and Sharko. All right, here's the
Why are
thing.
you even telling me these names? I don't want to know this stuff.
Yeah, because this is all it is. It's mindless drivel. So the thing is that my only prerequisite for watching a show is that it has to have some value to it. Like Odd Squad is both funny.
Yeah.
It's super funny, and it has, like Captain Underpants is funny. There has to be
I saw that
some
movie. It's pretty funny.
redeemable. Even SpongeBob. There's SpongeBob.
Like a sensibility to it that's
like,
a little more sophisticated.
These shows where like it's literally so the show on Netflix is Zig and Sharko. Watch out for it.
Stop saying that name. I don't want to hear you say
All right.
fucking Zig and Sharko.
You know what
again.
it is? It's like it's some kind of French show. I don't know if it's French Canadian or from France or whatever.
my God.
But it just sounds, and it's a shark trying to protect a mermaid, and then like a Tasmanian devil trying to.
Is
eat
the
mermaid
mermaid named Sharko in
No.
a twist?
No, I don't even know.
In the shocking twist?
And it's all just like anvils and it's not like Tom and Jerry that's funny or. You know what? Those are like humorous because like the Roadrunner will pull something.
Violence is humorous.
It just
I
sounds.
agree.
It just sounds. All it
Itchy
is
and
just
scratchy.
sounds.
I've made my
It's
so I
awful.
try to find some stuff that I like that my kid could maybe watch. And you don't realize, like, I probably didn't see The Simpsons. The Simpsons wasn't even on until I was like 14, right? So showing like an 8-year-old The Simpsons is problematic on certain levels. He's not going to get most of it, right? But there's some sketchy stuff, and then Itchy Scratchy comes on, and it's like hardcore violence in some of those things, which is fine, you know, it's cartoon or whatever, but it's a little much, right? So like a couple of people here started to talk about some of the stuff that they try to show their kids that is maybe a little bit above their pay grade, right? So Zombie Mom says her daughter is 9 and she as a parent is very liberal with what she lets her kids watch. She lets her 9-year-old watch Stranger Things. Funny story.
Yeah.
My wife showed my kid the first 2 episodes of Stranger Things last night of the original, the first season. He's a little creeped out, a little scary. It's a little bit above, like it's about 12-year-olds, like the first season, right? And there's some high school stuff and like kids hooking up, which he's not into at all. I showed him, I loved Buffy back in the day. I showed him a Buffy, and even that, which is really cheesy by any kind of standards, like in terms of like the stuff that's supposed to be scary is not scary for somebody who's lived a fucking life, like grow up kid.
Right.
But for a little kid, it's a little scary. Some dude here says, Jeff the dog says, I just started watching Buffy with my 3.5-year-old, and now she's asking to watch it. 3.5-year-old. I mean, you won't even get the jokes, regardless of you know whether it's scary or not.
Let her get the
It's
jokes.
all like pop culture references and
Yeah.
Joss Whedon, you know, vernacular and stuff, which I find entertaining. But I don't even think it's necessarily problematic. It's just like it is the. You know, what's the kid getting out of it at this point?
So my 11-year-old, almost 12, is she got into Gilmore Girls.
Oh my god!
Which is fine because it's a
Yeah.
great show. It's a fun show.
It's annoying, yeah.
A little annoying, but or not.
It's very stylized, and the
It's
dialogue
very-
is
it's
very
very-
heightened.
My Girl Friday kind
I mean,
of.
Buffy is a little bit like that too, where like it's not real life. The way they talk to each other is very specific to their world.
But it's at least interesting. You're out of the zone of this like horrible, like big time rush or whatever the fuck it is.
Sure, it's a little bit closer to like a real life issues.
And now she likes Grand Designs, which is
no idea what that is.
Oh my god, it's so good. And then Beastmaster, Ultimate Beastmaster.
You talked about that last time. I don't give a shit about
really
it.
good.
Go Outside Kid says her toddlers fucking love our podcast and my IG stories. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
They actually love Curious George. My kid likes Curious George, my toddler. So here's something funny. Emily Ioneus says she likes Brady Bunch on Amazon Prime. It's sexist as hell, but takes me back to my childhood. I showed Detective Munch, my 9-year-old, Brady Bunch like last week. Yeah. He's laughing his ass off. Which makes me sad because his sense of humor is obviously garbage. Right. If you find this shit funny, it's the most like staged, fucking set up, contrived garbage. Exactly. It's really terrible. Yeah. And then a bunch of people said that the TV shows suck, but they really like to show movies they love to their kids. Little Charmer 80 once again says she prefers when her kids watch films, but it gets repetitive because they watch the same thing over and over. She said she knew the Frozen phase went too far when she and her husband were debating who was hotter, Anna or Elsa.
Ooh, that's a good question.
She says Anna, obviously. I'm going to say Elsa, but with Anna's personality.
I forget who. Wait, no, I forget.
Elsa's the blonde with the powers, and Anna is Kristen Bell.
Yeah, I think Anna's more interesting.
She's a redhead.
Yeah, that's okay. That's cute. But also
they're both hot.
But at the same time, like Elsa's so like. Well,
I'm into it.
Elsa's a little base.
Elsa's a little what?
Basic.
Basic? Is she? She's just struggling against like she's.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I have these powers that I've lived with the whole time.
No. She was taught to be ashamed of the powers because they were a euphemism or a metaphor for being an outcast, maybe being a lesbian. So her parents are the real. I wrote a blog post about this. Her parents are the problem. They taught her that her powers were dangerous and evil.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes you unique is what makes you bad.
And
it was real fucked up.
How did her parents know to go to the fucking rock people?
The trolls, you mean?
Rock people.
How did they know?
Yeah. You know why?
Because they know more than they're letting on.
Because Mr. King was like out in the
Mr.
woods,
King?
whatever the fuck
is it Don King? Only in America.
Only in America can I have a daughter.
So I think we hit everything when it comes to TV shows. I mean, look, there are 8 billion kids TV shows. I'm sure there's some that you love and you hate that we didn't get to. Hopefully Ziggo and Sharkman. What was the fucking dumb show you mentioned?
Ziggy and Sharko.
Ziggy and Sharko. And in the weird twist, the mermaid is called Sharko.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally got the joke. I made the joke earlier and it didn't register because you were so wrapped up in talking about
I think actually
Ziggy and the Sharko.
I think it was more nervous laughter than anything else.
No, you know what? You make me nervous.
I think we got it.
So we mentioned earlier we have a new sponsor, so we're going to talk about some of the comments people left on for our last week's episode, sponsored by Kinder Perfect, which is Cards Against Humanity for parents.
Yes.
We're going to play a quick round for you people so you can understand how it works.
All right.
So Pete is going to draw a topic card, right? Yeah. So you basically pose the question.
Yep.
And then I have to answer the question with one of the answer cards, and then Nate is going to choose which one wins.
Okay. Wait, am I also taking an answer?
Sure, might as well. We want to give you guys some options so you can see what the punchlines are.
All right, so here, let me look. Hold on one second.
Make it relate to kids' TV shows, because I know there's a bunch of those.
Okay, good. Up next, this is the question. Excuse me. Next up, Daniel Tiger sings a catchy tune about blank.
Getting caught mid-quickie.
What?
That was my answer. Okay. What's your answer?
I'm going to go
Daniel Tiger sings a catchy tune about getting caught mid-quickie.
Okay, ready?
I'd like that song.
All right, Daniel Tiger, and I'm going to go with...
Hold on, say the whole thing. Daniel Tiger sings a catchy tune about stay-at-home
dads.
How would that go? Stay-at-home dads doing it up, sitting on their ass and not doing shit. That's what the song is about me. Not gonna go to the fucking playground because it sucks. Right? Is that how it goes? Bop ba da ba da. Stay home, dads. Right?
All right, Nate. What
Hold on, no. We got one more. I'm gonna do one more.
Oh, you're doing one more?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one more because I enjoy it. Next up, Daniel Tiger sings a catchy tune about pop brownies at the PTA meeting.
What? Why would you do that?
What do you mean?
though?
That's
Would it
not a
make you
good song?
anxious?
Well, why would you eat pop brownies at a PTA meeting?
Bring 'em,
Why would you bring them? Because you want to see other people.
You know what?
Get a
And
little-
now Daniel Tiger, that pure innocent bastard, has to sing all these fucking disgusting.
All right, so hold on.
songs.
What were the options, Nate, were next up, Daniel Tiger sings a catchy tune about pop brownies at the PTA meeting,
Yeah,
stay-at-home dads,
there's got to be a better one.
and what was the first one that I said?
Getting caught mid-quickie.
Getting
Yeah.
caught mid-quickie. Which do you think is the best?
Well, you kind of stack the cards in your favor by picking two, but you win.
Well, I don't need to win. I want to know which
Yeah,
punchline
you-
wins.
I like getting caught mid-quickie.
Getting caught mid-quickie.
I
You
don't
know?
know what the fuck a Daniel Tiger is, but
Yeah, a Daniel Tiger.
We
is
talked
a
about it. You
thing.
weren't listening to the own show that you're producing. We
did I
talked
miss-
about it
did I
earlier.
miss that part?
It's the Mr. Rogers, the animated version of Mr. Rogers.
Oh, right. Got
Yeah.
it.
So it would be like a really genteel, polite little tiger who walks in on his parents banging it out in the laundry room.
Right.
I would like to hear that song. Do you think
Yeah.
Weird Al would do it?
Why, Mom, would you do that with that? It's so gross.
Well, you know what? Maybe this kid should learn a little something about not being ashamed of sexuality.
Maybe he
Is
should.
it? Why is it got to be gross, Daniel Tiger?
How
Maybe
about-
you're learning the wrong lessons.
Maybe the parents should start learning about being.
Anyway, so if you want to pick up at Kinder Perfect, it's a really fun party game.
Yeah.
It's a really fun game to drink to with fellow parents, which, face it, 90% of your friends are fellow parents.
Yep.
You can go to kinderperfect.com and enter the code 20OFF-DADDY, 20OFF-DADDY, and get a 20% discount. And I'm going to put a link up to Amazon where the discount will be built in. So they're a fun sponsor that I think lines up really well with our sensibilities, because who hasn't been caught mid-quickie by a cartoon tiger and then written a song about it?
There you go, everybody.
So last week
We
we
got
did
some
an
good
episode
comments.
on hypocritical parenting, and this is something we got to get into. Cereal Gate. Pete went off on a rant about how Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the best cereal in the world. I don't have a problem with Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I don't consider it to be a top cereal. I
'Cause
posted
your-
a poll.
Your taste buds.
48% of you agreed with me. The other 52% are banned, unfortunately, from ever listening to this
That's
podcast
it.
or following my content
Thank
again.
you very much, everybody.
MK Stiv, clearly one of them on Pete's side, said Cinnamon Toast is fucking delicious. Kathy Fuji, this is all our YouTube comments, said Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the shit.
Yes,
It's not the best cereal out there, but I would never turn down a bowl of CTC. Hashtag Team Pete.
Thank you very
I've
much.
never been more sickened.
You got it, Kathy. You are officially the greatest.
She also had a comment about hypocritical parenting where she says, because I made the argument that hypocritical parenting is okay because parents are in a different place in their lives. We've been through this shit. We have different rules. She says, but young kids don't understand that I'm the adult, so I've earned the right to do X argument. They don't know how to discern yet. You're right. They don't, which is why you don't necessarily need to give them that explanation. That's why you say, because I said so, because they can't understand the intricacies of the argument and the reality.
Okay, look. So from 20 to 30, I went through a really tough period, son. And the thing is that
Yeah,
there was
look,
a lot of
I
complication.
made some
I had
mistakes.
2 breakups. I met your mom when I was in my
I
late
got caught
30s.
mid-quickie.
We just had, yeah. And then all of a sudden you started singing about it. It's really weird. This whole family is a fucking weird family.
So Sarge, a.k.a. Joseph Diachason, which we don't say his name often because it's tricky, but I think that's right,
Yeah.
Joseph Diachason, says one of the hypocritical things he does is he tells his kids to go to sleep, and then he stays up and binges Netflix shows or watches football in peace. God damn it! I like when somebody ends with a loud yell and a curse, because that's what I do. And then Melissa Lombardi, who is a new follower who has gone back, like Dana Bosday, has gone back and just listened to every podcast.
She's commenting.
And is commenting
an absolute storm.
A storm.
Which
She is
we
a
encourage
prolific
you guys
commenter.
to do, too.
She's on episode 26. Based on the comments she's leaving, she's on episode 26, and she went back and listened to the one about parents who have help from nearby family.
So this is episode 26.
Episode 26. She says, we have always lived close to our parents, and I love it. Grandmothers will come over and help us whenever we might need them. They will also take the kids and give us some time to ourselves. Having family close is priceless to me, and now Melissa Lombardi is dead to me.
You're banned.
Because I don't have any of that
You're
shit.
banned.
And it makes me sick.
You're banned.
You're the 1% of parents, and it's bullshit.
You blew
It is
it.
too easy for you.
Why would
you
you
don't
do
really
it?
know what it's like, and we don't want you listening to our stuff anymore.
yeah.
Please go rate us on Apple Podcasts. Just give us 5 stars,
Come on,
Melissa.
guys.
It's the least you
Honestly,
can do after throwing
after
that in
that-
our faces.
After your wonderful families,
Yeah,
take
God
care
damn
of
you and your
kids.
better life than ours. It's sickening. I don't like it.
No. What happened? What were the arguments? Where are the arguments?
There are no arguments because her grandparents are like, you
know.
guys are struggling. You need to go have a date night.
You know what?
Fuck Melissa
It's-
Lombardi and
how
her
about this?
grandparents.
It's Thursday. You guys take the day off. I've heard
Yeah,
that
grandma's here. We'll handle the kids with such precious time to us. Shut up,
before.
grandma.
Well, Melissa,
right?
you really walked into a hornet's nest with that
You sure
one.
did. We should do an episode
But
on
we
why
appreciate
grandparents
it,
suck. Can
but
we
we-
do that? Have we done that already?
I think so.
I think we did too.
We appreciate that. We appreciate you, Melissa. We appreciate everyone who
We
supports
especially
us.
appreciate the
Our
Patreon
patrons,
supporters
our
who are going to be
patrons.
getting these sweet ass koozies.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody who goes to Apple Podcasts and gives us a rating. We get 5 more ratings. We're going to do a controversial topic of your
Ooh,
choice.
controversial.
Sort of. We're going to put a list of topics you can choose,
There you go.
right?
That's pretty good.
And it
think
won't
so.
be about cereal, although we could do it. I think we could do an entire episode on cereal.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot.
All right.
Captain
Well,
Crunch up in this piece.
no one wants to hear.
Thanks for joining us
All right,
this
thank you,
week.
guys.
See you next week. Stick around or come early for the live. Actually, it doesn't make sense to say come early.
Yeah, because
Monday nights we do the live before we record.
There you go.
Stick around. Come early.
We love you guys.
I'm not making any sense at this point.
It's okay. It's all good. We love you guys. We love doing this. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Chef's kiss.
That wasn't a chef's kiss. It was a peace kiss.
All right.
I don't know why you would still be watching This Isn't a Marvel movie, no matter how much I look like Paul Rudd, which you can deny it all you want. It's there in the eyes, I think. I'm young looking like him. If you enjoyed the podcast, which you obviously did or you wouldn't be listening still, sign up on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you want to listen to. Comment here on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that like button. We want to hear from you. Comments, questions, dirty jokes, money. All the money you can give us. We'd love it all. Catch you next time.